Keep It or Change Cars, the motoring podcast for you.
Welcome back to the Keep It or Change Cars. I'm Nicky Nash, as always, your host, and I'm not alone. I'm with Michael Pashut. How are you, Michael?
You're never going to be alone. I'm going to be here every single week to share with you, the public, the most incredible stories, and that's what it's about. I'm good. Have you had a good week?
Very busy week, leading up to Camp Fest, and I just came back from Port Elizabeth. I am straight from the airport as we speak, so my car is still full of bags and everything. We had Volkswagen in Daba, so
Nice.
they're telling us about their future plans for the year, the vehicles that are coming, and the vehicle that I'd love for them to bring, but they can't bring because they say fuel quality. And there's the
Volkswagen R8.
no, it's the Golf 8.5 GTI.
I believe so. There's not controversy, but there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Is it coming? Is it not coming? We thought it was coming, and now it's not coming.
Yeah, so essentially it's because of the fuel quality that the car uses. So they have a grade that they use overseas, and it's called EU7 or something like
Right,
that.
and we don't have that yet.
We don't have that. I think we would only get it like in 2027, so that's when the car could come here. But Volkswagen is trying their best to speak to Volkswagen Global to make the vehicle come into the country. But what I can confirm on those podcasts is that car is not coming this year.
Okay.
If it does come, they're pushing it for next year, hopefully next year, and then we'll take it from there.
Anybody's owned a Golf GTI, whether it be the 1, 2, 3, all the way through 8, and now in expectation, the 8.5, it is a special car. Think about how special this is. Do we have Ferraris? Do we have Porsches? Do we have Maseratis? Do we have Rolls-Royce, Bentleys? You name it. They ain't running on oxygen. What are they running on in this country?
Running on fuel, and I think that's where I think Volkswagen needs to, like their marketing team for me, I think they need to spread it out there to the public and them themselves to say it. Because as much as they would tell us, and I've spread it before, I've said it on my channels, even now I've been posting on TikTok telling them it's because of the fuel quality. People don't understand.
Correct.
So I think, and even when I say it, I see on TikTok as well, my comment section are saying, what if he's lying? So I think it's best that someone from VW comes out and then they post on their social media as to why it's not coming. Explain it in detail, because there's obviously a reason behind it's not coming. So explain it, because people are saying, no, but there's Ferraris, there's Porsches, there's all that stuff.
I mean, I haven't even seen it, but I'm just saying it.
Yeah, people have been saying that in the comment section, that there's these vehicles that are in the country, they're using the fuel that, and I even asked myself, I'm like, the new RS3 is coming this year.
Must be a similar engine.
Not similar engine, actually more powerful engine. My 5-cylinder, but it's an RS3, and that's a Golf 8 GTI. How is that coming?
What is the Audi running on? Rocket fuel, jet fuel, NASA fuel?
I think that's for me, I think for Volkswagen to keep that reputation and not lose people, I think they should come out as themselves, because they can't rely too much on journalists to spread the word, because people will always say, how do you know? Like, what's your source? And I can't always say, no, but I was with the PR manager of this morning. Then they're like, okay, where's the proof? This type of thing.
But now, as you watch the podcast, you'll notice that we are fans of certain cars, admirers of other. Let's turn a negative into a positive. VW could have kept quiet, bring the car in. They're not going to have a problem with that engine for 30, 40, 50, 60,000 kilos. We spoke about the Audi 2-litre turbo expiring at 100,000. I can guarantee you, VW, they deserve a cap off to them for having the foresight to say, we can bring it in, but what are the potential long-term problems? Guaranteed the car will run on 93, 95, 98 octane, but will it run optimally and for how long? So what I say about turning a negative into a positive, VW South Africa, well done. You know how much the public wants that car, but make them wait a little bit longer, put the price up.
And they're not even fueling that car, because we saw it in Port Elizabeth.
Oh, so
at their plant.
Yeah.
There's one in the country.
So it didn't start it up, nothing?
We didn't start it up. Obviously, the car came of a ship, everything. It needs to be moved around. So the fuel that car has
It's all the fuel that's
is the fuel that came from overseas, because when we didn't start it, but we put the ignition on, and immediately when I put the ignition on, the fuel light came on 15 kilometers to empty. So I'm like, that means that's the fuel from overseas, and VW is not planning on filling that car up. So I think it's just going to stay in the country for however long they need it to be in the country, then put it on a ship and it leaves again.
If there's one brand that we've said before that has got fans across the board, young and old, male and female, you name it, it's VW. 100%. Tell us about the 8.5. Wet my lips.
Oh, the 8.5, it looks good. As much as people say it looks like the normal 8 GTI, because it is just a facelift, but
evolution.
It does look good, especially the interior. That's where the biggest update is. Like it used to use like a like an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Now it's using, can you guess how big the screen is actually?
I promise you, I genuinely don't know, but you're probably going to tell me like 13, 14 inches.
You're close, it's 14 inches.
14
like
inches.
It's quite big, the touchscreen infotainment system. I like it. I know you're
not crazy about it, but I'm going to coin a phrase and it belongs to me. Modern cars are designed around a tablet. The tablet is a screen, and now let's decide what kind of interior we want and put a body around the interior. Cars are designed around a tablet, but 14 inches, that is what, about 33, 34 centimeters?
Yeah. It's,
I mean, times 2.5.
It's the length of a ruler, essentially.
That is incredible. But talking about incredible, you're in something special today. I always love to ogle what's in the parking lot. I come in my same boring car that I always have. You've got a GAC. Tell us about that.
So I'm driving the GAC MQ. It's a very good vehicle, actually. Like, I didn't expect it, because it's my first time driving it. I actually like the vehicle. And interesting enough, do you know what happened with the price of that vehicle? Yeah. So the car was launched last year, towards the end of last year.
And I did that because it's on the news. It's going down.
So
GAC don't believe in inflation. I
like
For
them.
the Minister of Finance, GAC is your company.
So the car was launched at 659,000 rand.
And that price didn't seem wrong, to be honest, at face value.
For that car as well. And then I think it was in November, but towards the end of last year, they came out and said they're scraping 100,000 rand off.
That is incredible.
The top of the range MQ, then the M Zoom, I think is around 80,000. But all of their models got like a massive price cut. So I thought, I'm like, what if I bought the car new? What then?
You'll be angry.
Yes, but my fellow colleagues told me, they're like, no, even if you had bought the car brand new,
They'll refund you.
they refund you. So if you bought on finance, obviously that'll go back into your finance and you lost. So I think that's a good step that they took.
Now, from a pure marketing point of view,
Yes.
that is absolutely scoring a home run. I always say marketing teams score an own goal.
Yeah.
They've scored a home run. That is impressive. I bought that car in November. I overpaid compared to the new price. They're going to protect me.
Yes, they're going to protect you.
That-
I heard from my fellow colleagues. They said,
Impressive.
no, GAC is going to protect you.
Now, talking about protecting, what else have GAC got that is taking the level up and up?
What else?
The guarantee?
Oh, yes, their lifetime guarantee.
I mean, where's it going to stop? In the most positive way.
Yes.
So 100,000 kilometers was a standard warranty that we knew all the time.
Yeah.
Then who improved upon that? Even Mazda have got a very, very good guarantee.
Really?
Mazda, the brand that we love, from what I understand, it's an unlimited 5-year guarantee.
Guarantee.
Very, very good. Great car. I'll say it again and again. Just challenges, but great car. Then Cherry, 1 million
Cherry.
kilometers.
They came with 1 million kilometers.
Like 1 million kilometers is not enough, you know.
10-year, I think it's 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty. We're like, okay, now that's trusting in your brand.
A lot of people have got a problem with that 1 million kilometer guarantee. When I say a problem, they've got questions around it. 1, will it be honored? 2, it's only for the first owner. That I've got no problem with.
Yeah.
Why? Because you can't use the guarantee as a reconditioning tool. First owner absolutely hammers a car, a dealer buys a car and he sends it to Cherry and says, we need to fix this, this and this. But who is going to do 1 million kilometers? So for me, I'm honest with you when I say unlimited kilometers sounds better, because nobody's going to be doing 3 million kilometers in their GAC. I know that if I do 350 or 400,000, I'm covered. With the GAC, we've said it before. What is for you the standout feature about that car? For me, it's easy because I haven't driven one.
The standout feature, I just like the comfort in the space. Like it's quite spacious. Like it's especially
I haven't been in one.
In the back seat as well. Like it's quite spacious. And
For
it
me,
feels good.
it's the way it looks. Don't you think it's a good-looking car?
I love the front. The back, I'm a bit not sure because of the whole coupe style design.
Right.
But the front.
What is it about the back of a car that is always the debate? So very few people say, I don't like the front of a car. Remember Chris Bangle when he was designing BMWs?
Yes.
People weren't complaining about the fronts. It was always a Chris Bangle back. It was like a weird design. What is it about the back of a car that is so difficult to get right?
I think before styling the back, I think it's the design of the back that makes it difficult. Maybe the shape, because I think once you have like a flat back, it's easier to maybe just put the lights there. But once you have a coupe style design, like what the MQ has, now you need to integrate the lights into the whole curve coupe style design. So I think that's where things become a bit challenging.
I want to get more viewers on this podcast. I want to get viewer interaction. What did you call the design?
Coupe style.
Coupe style, okay. So I grew up, I always believed it was a coupe, whereas today you hear both words.
Both words.
So the question is, I'm not saying I'm right, I just don't think I'm wrong.
Which one
is it? Coupe
or coupe?
Focus. I think it's coupe. But it's just interesting how different people pronounce it.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo, Alfa Romeo.
Hyundai.
Renault.
Renault.
Citroen. It's just absolutely.
Then there's Hyundai, then there's a Hyundai.
How do you think they pronounce Hyundai in Australia?
I have no idea.
Hyundai.
Okay.
Like, I got myself a new Hyundai. Okay. Is that like a home equipment gym system? Talking about Chinese cars. Now, you've heard me often say, I'm looking to the day when we no longer refer to a Chinese car as a Chinese car, but we say a Chery, a Haval, a GAC, as opposed to a GAC from China. One brand that I've got to call out, because it hasn't happened once, it hasn't happened twice, it's happened repeatedly. Car looks good, going to give you some clues. Looks good, again, I can't comment on how it goes, but I would say possibly the standout looking Chinese brand in South Africa. Who am I talking about?
I'm sure. I know you're talking about the X55, the bike.
100%. So the Jetour JQ is a good-looking car. But that X55, tell me that car doesn't look brilliant.
Oh, it looks good. I actually love it. Interesting. I love the back of the vehicle. Like, it looks quite good.
You've made him happy. Finally. Please identify yourself, designer. But it is a good-looking car all round. I love those flush door handles. Everything about that car just looks good. One problem. So let's go back to what I said. The day will come where Chinese cars are no longer looked at as a lower class. Chery, Haval. Who is selling those cars? Which kind of dealerships?
Premium dealerships.
Absolutely.
Premium dealerships.
Absolutely. Bidvest dealers, Motors dealers, Hatfield dealers, Lazarus Group, top dealers that have got other brands in their stable. Ford, Mazda, Nissan. Where am I going with this? Quality dealers that have got workshops, backup. When a car comes into South Africa, have you heard of something called a PDI?
No, I haven't.
Pre-delivery inspection.
Okay.
So you spoke about this Volkswagen that came in from Germany. Okay, that car would have arrived in a ship. I guarantee you the tires would have been underinflated because air in tires is dangerous. It can cause a fire. There would be minimal fuel. That is standard. They drain all the liquid. So that car arrives brand new, but you can't take it off the ship and drive it to the showroom. You've got to take it by truck, and then they do what they call a PDI, pre-delivery inspection. Check the fluids, check the tire pressure, check the electrics are working. For that, do you agree, you need a workshop?
Yeah, 100%.
What is a workshop in your opinion? And this is what I want to talk about with Beijing and bike.
A workshop?
What does a workshop look like?
Well, you need to have all the equipment necessary
Absolutely.
to inspect the vehicle.
You're expecting hoists.
Yeah,
I mean,
hoists, yeah.
I want to look underneath
Lifts,
the car.
everything.
Correct.
100%.
You want to have diagnostic equipment, okay? It can't look like ABC repair shop in the middle of nowhere. Question, you buy a bike or Beijing, as I said, repeated reach outs. Who are you buying those products from? You're not buying that from a quality franchised operation. Those franchises are given to normal businessmen, and I've got nothing against normal businessmen. What am I?
A normal businessman.
But do I qualify to own a BAIC dealer or Beijing dealership?
No.
Not a chance. I do not have the facilities. I've got, I believe, the right attitude, and I've got the right care. But my hands are tied. I don't have the facilities. The question is, can I upscale? Of course I can. Do I want to? No. Here's where the problem comes in. I give it to you because you want a franchise, but you don't want to go spend 2, 3, 4 million rand upscaling the workshop. How can I spend 4 million rand? I haven't even sold any of these cars. So what has happened is these vehicles have been given to dealerships who, in my opinion, are not fit to be selling them. The user experience. I go buy a car, 300, 400, 500,000 rand. What am I expecting? I'm expecting an incredible user experience. What am I getting?
Nothing.
Anything but that.
I think that's bad. I think for bike, they need to be looking because they have a very good vehicle.
It's an unbelievable looking vehicle.
And as much as if things do go wrong, it needs to go wrong at the premium, at the right dealership with the right person so that they can fix it there and then give you back a vehicle. But I've seen comments as well, people saying, no, I had a bike, the car's been sitting for like 3 to 4 months at the dealer.
I don't know where it is.
Yes, I have no feedback with the vehicle, all those type of things.
So the question for you, Toyota, Nissan, Honda, your established brands, BMW, Mercedes, you name it.
Suzuki,
of course. I'm saving the best for last. Suzuki, South Africa. Every single day I become a bigger fan of your brand. What are the chances of that happening with those brands?
No, it won't happen. And I think, because when I had my long-term with Suzuki, I had taken it in for brake, because they had to change the brakes, so they had a brake shedder. So when I took it in for the first day, they told me, do you want to keep your car here? We're not going to work on your car today, because I took it in at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They're like, no, the workshop is about to close in the next hour, so you can actually bring your car back tomorrow. Like, it doesn't have to stay here. But I'm like, nah, because I have other vehicles on test. I have my own personal car.
But you were given options.
I had an option. I'm like, no, it's fine, keep it. I kept the vehicle there. The next day, first thing in the morning, they called me. They're like, okay, we just need confirmation from Suzuki head office that we can actually work on the vehicle. Then they called me midday and said, yes, we got confirmation from Suzuki head office. Now we're just waiting for the parts. Your car is still here. It's untouched. And this is like on a Friday. I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're like, you can come and fetch the vehicle because the parts are only going to arrive next week, Wednesday. I'm like, no, it's fine. Keep the vehicle.
But you knew at all times,
I knew at all
where
times
you stood.
What's going on. They call me on Tuesday because parts are supposed to arrive Wednesday. They call me Tuesday telling me, hi, your car's still okay, it's still here. The parts are actually coming in tomorrow. So depending on when they come tomorrow, we're going to fix it, do everything, take it to wash bay and call you. They call me on Wednesday. They're like, the parts have arrived. The car's getting fitted. Afterwards, it's wash bay. The parts come, they fit everything. It's around 4 o'clock. They're like, the car's going into the wash bay. So by 5 o'clock, the car will be ready. You can come pick it up. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll come pick it up the following day, which is Thursday. So they kept constant telling me that your car's doing 1, 2, 3. You know exactly where your car is.
No pressure. Yeah. Guys, you've got all the time. I feel confident my car's in good hands. I feel confident that you guys are on top of it.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant.
So I don't think that's what's happening with the bike owners of vehicles. As they take their car in, I feel like it just goes mute. People,
100%.
Even the dealership forgets that I actually have Michael's bike in the garage or in the workshop.
But as in literally I forget, like you got to phone them. Everyone is saying to me, they'll phone them 3-4 days later, okay, we'll find out and come back to you.
What do you mean find out? You have the vehicle. You should be able to tell me what's going on.
Absolutely crazy. Now something that is very, very important, Nikki and myself have said it many times, everything we talk about is based on experience.
Yeah.
And remember, an experience that we have today can alter what we said before. Not because what we said before was incorrect, but if all of a sudden brand A starts giving problems, and it's coming to the fore, doesn't matter what we thought about it before. Yeah. I don't say we were proved wrong. We've got new information. And one of the things that I'm seeing, the Chinese products, unfortunately, factually, do not have the backup in South Africa, whether it be the technical know-how, the absolute parts backup, or the genuine desire to deliver for a customer. Why would you say that is? For me, I've got a very clear answer.
I don't know, actually.
Every brand that is established in South Africa, Toyota, Nissan, BMW, Mercedes, they are physically invested in this country. When I say invested, they invested with staff at factories. They invested with a parts chain. They have to make it work. The Chinese products have come into South Africa. The cars are imported. They give the franchises to quality dealers like we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
But is that group really invested? What skin in the game have they got? If China decides tomorrow South Africa is no longer a market we want to support, for whatever reason, what will it take for them to pull out?
Nothing.
Zero. Absolutely zero. There's no factories. Talking about a factory, one story that I've heard quickly. Tell me about the BAIC factory in Port Elizabeth. Try not to laugh. You've got to be professional.
Okay. So I've heard about the factory. I don't think it's open at the moment.
It's open.
No, it's open.
But the receptionist is building cars.
So I heard that it could, like, you know how the Ford plant in Centurion, like I think almost every 3 minutes or something, there's a new Ford getting off the line. They do X amount of vehicles. Apparently in a day at that factory, allegedly, they could do like 10 cars in a day. I'm like, how? If you're a factory, like it's what I've heard about that factory is just.
But the reality is, it seems like it's an absolute sham. Every dealer that I've spoken to doesn't know because I haven't been there. Yeah. Every journalist that I've spoken to that has been there said it was an eye opener watching this tour. You just got the impression that it was smoke and mirrors. That's why I made the joke. The receptionist was building cars.
So receptionist building cars, actually. But before you speak up more about that, because I actually want you to touch more about that, let's go for a quick ad break, and then when we come back, Michael's going to tell us about this receptionist.
Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Ask Mikey tab.
Welcome back to the Keep It or Change Cars podcast. Before the break, Michael was telling us about high qualified people building cars.
It's like going to a doctor and the receptionist says, okay, so today I'm going to diagnose you and tell you what's wrong with you. Not going to happen. Bottom line, BAIC, Beijing, is a one product that I'm going to call out and say, under no circumstances can I recommend it. I will never not recommend a product based on anything but feedback or my own experience. The feedback that I received on the product, shocking. It looks good. Look at it in a parking lot. Don't buy it.
Leave it just there. And speaking about don't buy it, I think it's very important to speak about sales. The sales figures just came out in the past for the past month for January.
I actually honestly haven't seen it.
And
that's always good. So you can tell me.
So I did.
Can I guess what's at the top?
Okay. Guess what's second?
Okay. So now interesting, and I promise you when I say I genuinely haven't seen it, but I did see a headline that said Suzuki officially second. If you go back to a podcast, I think it was episode 37 or 36,
in December,
you said by March.
By March.
He didn't lie. He was just conservative.
Yeah.
It's early February. You said by March, Suzuki will be second. Just think about that. Suzuki second in the sales figures against a brand like VW. Established, got buckies. Remember, bucky market in this country. You've got an Amarok workhorse. You've got an Amarok double cab. Suzuki don't have that.
Exactly.
And Suzuki are number 2.
And the VW figures, it's called Volkswagen Group.
Correct.
So it includes Audi as well.
Volkswagen. It's just Audi and Volkswagen.
Audi and Volkswagen. It includes those two as well. So Suzuki's beating those two.
Volkswagen's defense on that, it includes Audi as well, is Audi are contributing very, very little to the sales figures.
I'd like to believe so as well.
But that's a discussion for another day. If there's any brand that is getting it wrong, and you know openly, I've said it once, I'll say it again and again, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, what do I lean to as a personal favorite car?
Audi.
Absolutely. I love the other two as well.
Yeah.
I admire them, but Audi's my brand. Audi South Africa, if you can choose to get it wrong, you are succeeding in every single facet because that's what you've chosen. It's crazy. But Suzuki, what are the rough numbers relative to Volkswagen? Is it close or?
No, for the past month, I don't think it's close. I think they back over 500, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put the exact figures of Volkswagen and Suzuki sales for the past month.
Have Mazda cracked the top 15?
Don't know about top 15. No. No.
Let's not go overboard.
No, they haven't cracked top 15. And there's another brand that I want to speak about that also isn't cracking the top 15. And there's the 3 that you mentioned. There's BMW, there's Audi, there's something else.
Okay, so not Audi.
Not BMW.
Correct. Okay, so let me guess. Not Audi, not BMW. Mercedes. What has happened to Mercedes? Tell me.
I think, for me, it's pricing. Amongst the main thing for me is definitely has to be pricing because every vehicle that they compete against at Audi and BMW
is lower.
At Mercedes, it's like 200 to 300,000 rand.
How?
And there's the new C63 that I'm yet to drive it, so I'm not a fan of it just as of yet.
The sewing machine engine.
Yes, the 4-cylinder hybrid. For the price, for example, for the amount of money you can buy that C63, you can buy the current brand new 4-liter V8 hybrid M5, BMW M5. So how do I now, as a buyer, justify buying a C63? That's not a V8 anymore, over V8 M5. So things like that, for example, this is what I'm referencing. Things like that are what pushes people to buy the competition. Even when you go lower, when you look at like a GLC and an X3, and the GLC is like 200,000 rand more than an X3, and an X3.
If you go back to the 1970s and the 1980s, interesting, Mercedes, on purpose, factually, was always more expensive than Audi and BMW. But why? Only one reason in that period that they were more expensive.
I'd like to think it was of build quality.
By choice. If I price my car relative to BMW, it means I'm competing with BMW. It was marketing strategy. We're pricing it higher on purpose. So we're saying, you're trying to compete with us, we're not competing with you. The build quality, to say I owned a Mercedes-Benz in those days was an absolute status symbol. Today, Mercedes-Benz dealerships, are they growing or are they closing?
Closing, because there's one by me. Actually, they moved, so not closed. But I know I'd like to think they're closing. Actually, I'd like to think they're closing.
So they've got a new CEO, from what I understand, but the ex-CEO is no longer in the country, Mark Rain, if I get the name right.
Yes, this does.
Apparently burnt a lot of bridges with dealers. I mean, he's no longer here. It's a fact. We've got to state the fact. Yeah. Have you heard that too?
Not about the dealers. I know that he was the previous CEO.
He resigned, and when you resign for a reason, not because you're not loving your job. You're resigning because you are no longer wanted, and there's too much internal politics that is saying wrong man for the job. But when you've got dealership groups that have given up their Mercedes franchise because they simply cannot make money and they're not getting support from head office, all of a sudden the numbers go down, and then you've got a Mazda situation. No brand or OEM should have dealers closing. Stable and new ones opening. You take Suzuki, the brand, been around in South Africa since the mid-2000s. Their dealership group have done this. It's not like every single week or every single month they're opening up a new one, but it's always going up. The brand is improving, the sales, it just goes hand in hand. Sales are declining, dealerships are closing. But why are dealerships closing? Because at head office, you're clearly doing something wrong. Go back to the price point. What is the cheapest Mercedes in South Africa? Now, I don't know, but the cheapest entry-level Mercedes, because I want a 3-star brand.
Mercedes-Benz A-Class, and that's 800,000 rand.
800,000. Now, when you think of the A-Class, the original A-Class that came out in 2005, it was like a smart car. Remember the smart car?
Yeah.
It looked like a little bubble car. It is a Mercedes, no question. But when I think of A-Class, I do not think of E-Class, S-Class. I think of entry level and not cheap and nasty, but cheap. At 800,000 rand in South Africa. Tell me what you can get. New and second hand. 1-year-old, 2-year-old vehicle, second hand. What can you get?
From the competition, the first thing that popped into my mind when you said second hand, I can get a BMW 3 Series facelift.
Correct.
For that amount of money. But I knew I can get all of the Chinese vehicles that but I knew I can get a Mazda as well, the CX-5. Lexus as well, Toyota. I can get a Fortuner for that amount of money. Absolutely. I can get a Ranger for that amount of money. You can get a lot of vehicles, a lot of vehicles.
Now, I've engaged Justin and Nikki from marketing at Mercedes. Water off a duck's back. Don't even take it on board.
I was about to say, when did I join Mercedes? But I know what you're talking about, yes.
Water off a duck's back. Very simple. Mercedes, what you need to do, if your used car sales increase, naturally, it's just the way it works, the new cars will also increase. If you're not doing new, used are battling, but if you're not doing used, new's also battling. 2-3-year-old Mercedes, 50, 60,000 kilometers, to Mercedes-Benz South Africa, to Audi South Africa, to BMW South Africa. Take those cars and extend the maintenance plan on any vehicle that is sold by an Audi, BMW or Mercedes dealership. So simple. I buy a brand new car. In my mind, how many years am I getting my maintenance plan for?
Maintenance plan.
5 years?
5 years.
100%. I buy a 2022 car. It's already 3 years old. Sounds new. 2 years left. Simply, I'll buy a 2022 luxury German car. Give me, included in the price, a 5-year maintenance plan. Remember, you've got a product that is immeasurably superior to the Chinese counterparts.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old BMW with 60,000 kilos. We're talking only equal price with a 5-year maintenance plan. Or a Chinese car. What are you going for?
Obvious, the Germans. Definitely.
But you're a BMW fan, so silly question. Okay, let me make it tough for Nikki. 3-year-old Audi with 60,000 kilos.
Now, he's
pretending.
I'll still go Audi.
He loves Liverpool. It's like me asking him a question about Arsenal. He's going to say, are Arsenal still in the Premier League? But do you agree? A 3-year-old German car under factory warranty. So we always talk about how do you arrest the incoming challenge from the Chinese. Think about this for a second. These second-hand cars exist, Anytime a buyer that was going to buy a new Chinese car looks at a German car, you've taken away a sale from a Chinese product, right or wrong?
Yes, 100%.
Already a victory. It's just common sense that unfortunately, and I say it respectfully, people in marketing don't get it. They think marketing is about a billboard. They think marketing is about an advert on radio. They think marketing is about something kitsch. It's not about that. It's about something that you and I, as a consumer, can relate to. I have customers phoning me, Michael, I've got a 5-year-old BMW 2020, my motor plan's expiring in June. Is it time to sell? What's the kilos on that car, Mr. Client? 72,000 kilos. Did you know that you can go extend your motor plan? It will cost you 50, 60, 70, 80,000 depending on the exact scenario. You've got a car that's fully paid up. Keep that car. But what is their concern when they want to sell that car? What are their concerns? Why do they want to sell that car?
Because the car's getting out of warranty.
Correct.
Thinking that something will go wrong with the vehicle.
Now, I bought that car in 2020, and that car in 2020 cost me 550,000. Thumbs up figure, depending on the example.
Yeah.
Same car that cost 550 in 2020. What is it costing today?
700,000 rand.
And even a touch more. And a touch more. So what has happened? The car's fully paid up. I've got 350,000 rand as an asset. Do I want to go spend another 450,000? Alternatively, I go from my BMW to a Chinese car. Am I going backwards? So very simple. BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. You're welcome to take my advice. I say it with pride. Extend the factory warranty, extend the factory maintenance plan, and you will get an audience that wasn't considering your car. I read an ad and it says openly, 3-year unlimited kilometer warranty or 5-year warranty and maintenance plan extension included in the price. You have me at hello.
Yeah, I'll definitely buy that over the Chinese. I personally would definitely do that. But if I don't have those things and I'm scared that something might go wrong, then I'll just go over and look at the Chinese and get a brand new car.
So we often talk about feedback, and today I want to share the feedback that we got regarding our last podcast. Who did we focus on in the last podcast?
Motors.
And what was the concerns regarding motors? 2 things. One in particular, and the second was secondary.
So it was how they deal with the customers,
100%,
and the people in top management system.
100%. So we are talking about lack of transformation, but let's talk only about service for a moment. If you go onto our TikTok podcast, every single comment, and we're proud of it, because remember, if we're wrong, call us out.
Tell
we
us,
are not God, not at all. We don't think we are. We don't pretend to be. We want to learn. We want to share our knowledge with you. The comments are, what are they talking about?
They're agreeing. They people are sharing the experiences. They're like, actually, yes, 2 years ago I had 1, 2, 3. This is what happened. So they're sharing the experiences. They're actually agreeing with us and also sharing the experience on top of that. And there's no one that's saying, no, you guys are lying. This doesn't happen. So that actually says a lot about what we had said.
Now, it's easy to talk, it's easy to take on a company, it's easy to go after a company. But everything you say or I say has to be the 100% truth.
Yeah.
And the 100% truth is not our truth. It's a truth that you can literally check. You can say, Michael, show me the email you sent to the CEO inviting them. Show me the email from the customer reaching out to you. If I tell a story, it's 100% factual. Because if it's not factual, we're setting ourselves up for trouble.
Yeah.
Today, the morning of the podcast, I have to share with you because you can't make this up. I own an Audi and it's due for its service. I stay in Bryanston. Nearest Audi center to me is where?
Audi Bryanston.
Who owns Audi Bryanston?
Because you told me, because I had no idea. Motors Group.
Correct.
Yeah.
So my car's due in for its service anytime from 7:30, I imagine, till 9 o'clock they expect it. Roughly 9 o'clock, I get an SMS. We've inspected your car windscreen and we found chips. Comes from Gideon Audi Center Bryanston. They tell me what it will charge to fix my chips. Very appreciative of that. There's just 2 small problems there. One, my car does not have a single chip on it, but hold that thought. And my car is still in my garage at home. My car is in my garage. So what have they done? Very, very simple. Every single day, they get a list of every single car that's checked in, 10, 12, 25, whatever the numbers are for the day. They take the cell phone number, they send a standard SMS. Your car has got stone chips. Now, you're a young lady, you're a young gentleman, you really care about your car.
Yeah.
Your car's at the service. You think to myself, I don't even remember it having a stone chip, but clearly it's got it. It's at Audi. Let them fix it. 357 Rand a chip. The Audi dealership that does that makes money.
Yeah.
So Audi Bryanston, they fix 100, 150, 200 chips a month because nobody wants a stone chip on their windscreen. What happens if it runs? Okay. My car, I get an SMS, my car's in the garage. How do you explain that?
Wait, so are these, I'm going to call them scam because it actually is scamming people. So is this being done by the people that work at Audi, or the dealer principal knows about it and is authorized? Because I'd like to presume that obviously if it was you, for example, I don't think, because I know you don't carry cash a lot, so I don't think you would have 350
So
cash.
it goes onto your service bill. So
okay,
let's say this. So scam, I don't want to use the word scam, but it's absolutely a con. What it is your car's in for a service. We're going to tell you all the things that need to be done, even if they don't need to be done. You know how often I get lady friends phoning me, "Hi Mike, can you give me some advice, please? I bought my car in 2020, and I've taken it in for its 5-year service or 4-year service, and they've told me my battery is due for replacement." Not flat. I say, any problems? Nothing. It starts first time every time. What they do is, yes, a battery does have a certain life. But I always say, a battery doesn't go from 0 to 0. Car's not going to start today and not start tomorrow. You'll get warning signs.
You'll hear it.
How can you ask me to change a battery that's 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 Rand, depending on the car? Just simply, and I don't even need to replace it. I'll put my neck on a block, Nikki, in many cases where the customer says, yes, that battery's not even changed. Do you think that's happening?
Yeah, because if we're being honest, if you own a vehicle, how often do you actually open your bonnet?
Very, very seldom. A modern car.
A modern car, yeah. If you own one,
Where's the dipstick today? In the boot or in the bonnet?
Some don't have.
Some don't have a dipstick.
You check through the car itself inside. So definitely modern cars. I know people that definitely don't open the front. And you speak about, not to be sexist or anything, a lot of females definitely don't open their boot. Because when I think about it, I'm like, if I thinking about my mom and sister, when last
they wouldn't have a clue.
They wouldn't have a clue. So there's definitely a lot more women out there, females out there, that go through such things. And if a dealer says the battery is flat, you're gonna think, okay, I need a new battery. Pay for a battery, and to what you just said, battery is not changed because you don't even know how the actual battery look.
And the battery's hidden. Your average car owner today, male or female, young or old, I will almost guarantee you, I'm not saying everyone, but the vast majority will not be able to tell you if their bonnet release cable is on the left or the right, or how to open the bonnet. Remember in the old days, it was all very simple. Pull the bonnet release and it was, Today, it's not like that. But the point here, very simply, is it's endemic in the industry that you are a client, you've got money. When I say you've got money, they're not targeting me, Michael Bashut. They're targeting me, the client. You've bought your car in to the agent for a service. A service is going to cost XX. Can we make it triple X so that we can get some extra income? You're selling me products that I don't need. You know, lady, have you seen on the internet, there's a lady who phones her husband and says, "Babe, I can get an amazing deal. They're prepared to give me 4 tires with air for 180 Rand. He said, "What do you mean 4 tires air?" They get prepared to pump up all 4 of my tires with air for 180 Rand. Obviously, it's a joke. But what it is you throw something at a person and they are not knowledgeable on it. I phone you and I say to you, "Hi, it's so-and-so phoning from dealership. We've done a check on your car. Your car's in very, very good condition, but we just want to recommend that you consider changing your battery. You wouldn't want to be left on the side of the road." What are you going to do, Nikki? You're a lady, and I tell you we recommend changing your battery. You don't want to be left on the side of the road.
I'm going to listen to that recommendation.
I'm going to do it. And that makes me sad. So now it moves on to the next topic. In South Africa, who can you trust? I'm not saying you can't trust anybody. But at face value, you've got to believe that most dealerships, respectfully, are out there to maximize income. Is there anybody, and now when I say anybody, I'm not talking about a human being. I'm talking anybody that can be trusted in this country that is identifiable standout. So if you say the motoring ombud, okay? The motoring ombud is not available. I can't pick up the phone to motoring ombud and say, "Hi, you got 2 minutes for me?" You can pick up the phone to myself or to Nikki. And if we don't know the answer, I assure you, I'm not going to tell you the wrong answer. I'm going to say, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client? I actually don't know.
don't
Can you
know.
give me 15 minutes and I will know?
You will
And
know.
guess who is going to benefit from that? Me, because I've learned something. Who can you trust in this country?
Us. Definitely us.
Very, very humble.
But honestly, because of how things are, you really can't trust people, actually. You just need to gauge and be cautious, extra cautious. If you get a call, things like that, and you're not sure,
Be careful.
be careful. Don't rush into making a decision. Rather call, whether it's a family member or even us, because our details are on the screen. Email us, call us, then make a decision from there. Don't rush to make a
So
decision.
now what I would have hoped that you would have said is there's a number you can phone and there's a body that can be trusted.
Okay.
And funny enough, that body for me is the AA, the Automobile Association. You ask anybody, and when I say anybody, it can be your grandparents or your parents,
Oh, yeah.
anybody from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. I always used to make a joke. I'd say, you can ask your parents and their parents. If there was one body that was trusted, was the Automobile Association of South Africa. Today, the AA, in your opinion, are they relevant, irrelevant?
I don't want to say irrelevant, because I believe there's still some sort of out there, but I wouldn't say they are the most relevant currently. But I'd like to believe they'll be.
Now, they should be the standout relevant body. They are, in theory, independent. The Automobile Association of South Africa, it's not a government entity. It's not quite a private entity, but it's an independent body. Over the last 20 years, all they've done is gone backwards. They've lost their client base and they've lost their credibility.
Yeah.
The Kyalami Grand Prix circuit today, for me, is standout. Why is it standout?
I think maybe because of the person that owns it.
Correct? Mr. Toby Fenter and the
Toby
LSM
Venter.
Porsche Group. What they've done to that, I cannot take enough opportunity to credit people where credit is due. There's no hidden agenda. I don't have any shares in Porsche South Africa. I would love
I know
to.
you wish you did.
But if there's a brand that is standout for me, it's them. So look at Kyalami. Before it was bought by LSM, what was it referred to as?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, again, interesting. Now, obviously, that's respectfully is because you're a younger Jed.
Yeah.
You're born in 2000 or 2001 or somewhere there. A millennial, they call them. Okay. It used to be called AA Kyalami.
Okay.
The track was in a state of disrepair, yet the AA brand was happy to put its name to that circuit. Okay. They didn't say, guys, we are ill-equipped to run this. Let's get rid of it. They kept it. October last year, they got a new CEO. The previous CEO resigned because he was taking money from the company, filtering it to his wife's company for advertising. It was just a whole scam. But the AA today is no longer what the AA was
Used to be,
before.
Yeah.
People used to wear an AA sticker, an AA badge,
Yeah, man.
proudly on their car.
My dad's cars used to have, I remember the sticker, AA with a bit of yellow. My dad's vehicles used to have that. But now I know for a fact those stickers aren't there anymore.
I'm going to say something that is not controversial, but just as I see it. Every single thing that we do is for the customer, for you, the audience, for the viewer, for people we don't know. But, question, is the customer always right?
No.
100%. The customer is not always right. However, when the customer is right, the customer is right.
Yeah.
So you can have 500 Google reviews or 500 Hello Peter reviews, and 485 are absolutely positive, and 10 are good, and 5 are not good. No problem. That's debatable. Maybe the customer possibly was wrong.
Yeah.
But let's flip it around. When you've got Google reviews and Hello Peter reviews, and 9 out of 10 are bad, and 1 out of 10 are good, what does that tell you? Is the customer right?
Yes.
100%.
In that regard, yes.
So, in this regard, as All Things Motoring, as Change Cars, one of the things that I'm trying to do, and it's a shout out, if you are the right company, please join us. We want to empower the public. I want to give a product to the public that can be trusted. If that product is not trusted, this is a big statement, Nikki.
Yeah.
Who's going to take responsibility for it if I partner with somebody?
We will take the responsibility.
I promise you, my name, my number is on our website. I say that with pride, not with arrogance. So I wanted to partner with the AA. But there are so many different fragments to that organization today. They've outsourced, by license, their warranty division to a company called Halls. Nothing to do with the AA, it's under license.
Okay.
But do you think the AA care about the reviews that are negative?
Right now, I'd like to think no.
Do yourself a favor, please go on to Hello Peter, see AA warranties, then go to AA Motherbody. That's all I ask. See what the public is saying. When you read reviews and there's XXXX in it, that is vitriol. People are saying this is bad. This is not people talking. This is people that are angry. This is people that are angry. I've always said, you have a problem with a company. Or let me say this, let me rephrase that. You have a challenge. I say to you, Mr. Company, I've got a problem. Please, will you fix it? The company says, we are so sorry. We didn't even realize. We fix it right away. Do you have any problem, Nikki?
No.
Not at all.
Not at
My
all.
problem is fixed.
It's fixed.
But they need to investigate it. They don't come back to you. It's been escalated. It's been escalated higher. Escalated to who?
Yeah.
It's very, very simple. What is the problem? Let's fix it. Let's apologize when necessary. Go read those reviews on the AA. So where am I going with this? Always say, we wanted to partner with the AA of South Africa and reinvent this brand. Say this is a brand that had the trust in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, as I've said before. Why have they lost that trust? When you've got the wrong people in power, what is going to happen?
The demise of the brand.
100%. In South Africa, like any country in the world, you've got a theory and you've got a practice. Let's give you an example. Do we have a civil service in South Africa?
Yes.
Now, the civil service, in theory, is supposed to be civil and give you service.
Yeah.
In reality, they're doing all but that. I take a brand like the AA. If you say at face value, the AA is your guardian angel, it's a trusted brand. What have they done? They've let the public down completely. We were talking to them, and under no circumstances will those talks proceed. There's too much infighting, and there's a brand that doesn't know where it's going, and that's not what we're about.
So basically, the demise of the brand, because there's too many things involved internally with the brand, and that's just making things worse for the brand and not for the better.
It's completely not cohesive. There's not a structure in place that says, if it's AA, it's 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah?
If it's AA, well, we'll see how it goes. You take care of this division, try do it right. If you don't do it right, no problem. AA certified, in my opinion, used to mean that it was an exacting standard. If I see a restaurant is approved by the Department of Health, that tells me that they've gone into the kitchen, that they've checked. If you are a Muslim viewer and you see a halal certificate on a restaurant, what is that telling you?
It's been checked. You're happy? You're confident with
100%.
Yeah.
There's not a 1% chance that meat is being mixed with non-halal food, whether it be pork, etc. And it's not a case of, okay, well, they're trying their best. It's 100% or nothing. I see an AA certified sticker, I want trust. That trust is no longer there.
No longer there.
What else can we talk about?
Tyron. Do you know about a car called a Volkswagen Tyron? I'm asking you because actually I love it so much. I saw it.
When you think you're going to catch me out, I said I never go on launches, but I do read. Oh my word. Okay, but something interesting.
Okay.
First time we ever talk about the Tyron, first time the public's hearing about it, when I say whether it be through us or at this stage. How long has that car been around in Europe?
I think it's been around for quite some time.
Roughly?
Not sure. I would be lying to you if I told
2018. So I think this is the second edition.
Second generation. Okay.
So I saw yesterday the market or press release, call it.
Yeah.
And immediately, why are they positioning that car? Very simple. Between what?
Above the Tiguan.
Correct. And slightly below the Touareg.
Below the Touareg.
How do you pronounce a Touareg? Like that?
Yeah, Touareg. I say Touareg. But I know if it's in Germany, they're going to say Touareg.
Yeah.
All those type of things.
But again, just absolutely talking nonsense. Do you know where that name comes from?
Nope. So
it's interesting. So I've always loved the story. It's a North African people, like towards the Sahel region, Libya, Mauritania, Egypt, that area, just towards North Africa, and they're called the Tuareg people. They're nomadic people.
Okay.
Can you imagine living in a desert? In the day, 35, 40, 50, 60 degrees. At night, the exact opposite. The desert is freezing and boiling. I mean, there's 10, 15 minutes in the morning where it's like about 25 degrees. Must be the best time of the day. Just that transition. Is that car going to do well?
Yeah, I'd love to believe so. And pricing, if they price it correctly, Yes, it's going to do well. I saw it yesterday for the first time.
What is the pricing? I actually don't know.
There's no pricing just yet. There's
what
no
would you
pricing.
imagine? Just over $1 million?
I'd like to think starting, they most probably started at probably just above 900 or in and around 900.
Another death knell for Mercedes?
And then cap it, they'll most probably cap it, I think at most, I stand with her actually, obviously, when the price does come up, maybe 1.2 in terms of capping it, because it looks like just a bigger current Tiguan, but obviously there is more to it.
7-seater?
7-seater.
Is that standard 7-seater?
7-seater, and it's quite big. Like I would definitely get it over Tiguan. Like I saw it yesterday, I'm like, wow. And they made sure they brought out the R line, the top of the range one. It looked very beautiful. I love that vehicle. Like
now talking about the R line. So VW, I think, make incredibly fundamentally good-looking cars. What would make you buy a R1 million VW without the R line package?
Without it, nothing.
Never. You just can't do it.
I just can't do it.
You look at the standard wheels on a VW, and it's decent, definitely not horrible, but it's shouting for an upgrade. But something I want to talk about, often I tell you about when I go overseas. So this new Tayron, out since 2018, and South Africans we're learning about it in 2025. What four-door cars in South Africa? And I understand that SUVs have become the norm, but what four-door cars in South Africa today are around that you can say, wow, I want that. In the 80s, we had the Skylines, Cressiders, BMWs, Mercedes, Mazdas, you name it. What four-door cars today are on offer?
That I would buy. Definitely 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series, S-Class, E-Class, I'm on the fence. C-Class, I'll definitely get the C-Class.
But
I'd get the C-Class over the 3 Series, actually.
Okay. And now if I talk about Japanese four-door sedans?
Japanese, definitely nothing.
Toyota?
No.
Think about it. One vehicle that they've got.
The
Toyota
Crown. The Crown.
Please tell me that Crown is not a magnificent looking car.
It does look, and it's quite big. I actually saw it last year. Yes, last
But nobody
year,
knows it's around.
Yeah. Like, I also don't know why Toyota is not marketing that car.
It is an unbelievable car. When I think of Cressida, when I think of Camry, those were absolute mainstays of the Toyota range. Yes, today the mainstay is a Fortuner. It's a Hilux. I get that. It's a Prado.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a quality four-door sedan with a big boot, that Crown, and to tell you the truth, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, so it does, and it's on, like, for you to buy it is per order, basically. So,
correct.
So they don't bring in, and then it just parks at dealership.
So
you have to place an order.
So how I found out about it, the phone rings at Change Cars, a call gets put through to me, and the client would like to ask about the Toyota Crown. First thing that goes through my mind, and again, it's not rude, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to enlighten this customer that we live in South Africa and not Japan, and there is no Toyota Crown. And as I'm about to say that, he says, I must compliment you on the Change Cars website. And I saw one on the site. I said, thank you very, very much. Let's go have a look at this Crown that you're looking for. Excuse Bob, it was there from a Toyota dealer. I would highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, from Toyota, that, and I also love the Corolla. The Corolla sedan. I love that. Like for an entry level four-door,
100%.
Definitely get that.
So if you take the Corolla, roughly 2015, 2014, they came out with a current shape, design, styling. It is absolutely next level. The current Toyota Corolla Quest is the old shape Corolla. Am I correct? Corolla. Tell me that's not a good looking car.
It is. I love that car. From Toyota, for me, that's where they're nailing it, and I think that's why there's so much sales success.
Toyota, Suzuki, every single show you're going to get a shout out. You deserve it. Audi, catch a slight wake up. You've got great products, we've told you. VW, huge admirer. Porsche, I do a double bow to you. Is that about it for the week?
Yeah, that's about it for the week. And interesting enough, where are we going? Today's Thursday, yeah. Where am I going tomorrow, and where are you going on Saturday?
VW Campfest. Now, this is my second year. Yours? Third or fourth?
Third year.
Is it the first time you're going with a VW?
Yes.
Your own car?
My own car. It's my first time going my own car. And yeah, like on my own accord, because the other 2 times was through Volkswagen South Africa. Then I'm like, you know what, this year I'm going on my own with my vehicle as well.
Okay. So he's going in something that is closer to a coupe. It's not a coupe, but it's closer to a coupe. I'm going in something that is absolutely legendary. 2002 Volkswagen Combi 2.3i, bought it from a friend. It wasn't his car, who bought it from a gentleman who's had it since new. In George, in the Western Cape, 2002, 135,000 kilos. If I say to you, Nikki, you know the proverbial, it's like new?
Yeah.
This car is as close to new as can be for a 23-year-old car. 135,000 kilos. 4-speed, and that's interesting. So on the highway, it does rev quite high, but it's got the 5-cylinder 2.3 Audi engine.
Okay.
Aircon or no aircon?
No aircon.
He's talking about his city Golf. we travel in style. Plus, I can take another 9 people because it's a 10-seater.
Yeah,
So-
I can't do that. My car only fits 2 people, me and my passenger. No one else because it's already too low.
Awesome. But that is where we're off to this weekend. Again, to VW. Let's just give another shout out to VW. Camfest, is it organized by the fans or VW South Africa?
By the fans.
Absolutely. Now you've got fans of the brand.
Of the brand, yeah.
When is the Mazda Festival again?
Never. That's not going to happen.
M-Fest is a huge festival, organized by BMW South Africa, but go one step further. What kind of turnout do they get over the 3 days at M-Fest?
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people at that event.
BMW, Toyota, Volkswagen,
They're
you've
doing
got to
something
support. The Beijing Festival is happening in Beijing. It's got nothing to do with the car. Appreciate another great podcast.
Another great podcast. We actually had some fun this time around. I can't wait for Campfest. I think it's good that we end this podcast. I can go finish up preparing my vehicle, and then I'll see Michael on Saturday.
Sorry, before we end it.
Yes.
They always say there's more. We've got some shout-outs for requests to go onto Spotify.
Oh, yes.
You speak, we listen. Our colleague Daniel proudly can tell you that as of essentially today, the 6th, you will have all these episodes on Spotify. Appreciate the support.
Thank you, guys. Please remember to like, comment, and very important, subscribe. Tell your friends and family that there is the best motoring channel podcast in South Africa. That's for a fact. You can quote me on that. We are the biggest motoring publication, everything.
I'd like to say the definitive voice, but a voice that is here for you. And we'll repeat it ad nauseum, the longest ending.
Yes.
Everything we do is for you. My name, my number, Nikki's name, Nikki's number is on the podcast.
Yeah.
You want to reach out to us. We're
Give us
not
a
doing
call.
you a favor. You are doing us a favor.
So we'll see you guys on the next one. This is episode 42. So we'll see you guys on episode 43.
Keep it or change cars. We are the face and voice of motoring podcasts in South Africa. Keep it or change cars, the motoring podcast with news, views, and interviews.